Peace and blessings, family. It's Nero here, and in this video, I want to talk with you guys about the sixth house in astrology, what the sixth house deals with, and yeah. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. So, for the most part, the sixth house is a house that deals with things like our health, and for this reason, this is why the sixth house is also known as like the house of health. But not only does it deal with our health, it's a house that also deals with how we go about our daily life, our day-to-day living, how we like to tackle it, and the kind of structure, routine, the organization that we can bring to our daily, our day-to-day living, our daily task. And then it not only deals with that, it also deals with pets too, but that usually doesn't get highlighted as much as the other ones. But along with pets, it also is a house that deals with our workplace, our job and the workplace. So yeah. There are more things that you can get into with the ninth house, but for the most part, you usually hear about things like day-to-day living, in your health, in your job. These are usually things that you're going to hear most of the part. And so for that sake, I'll, keep it there. Now, right at the bat, with like bringing structure and organization, like routine to your day-to-day living and making sure that your health, and this being a house that deals with health and more so how you maintain your health, we can see right off the bat that this is a sign that, not so much a sign, we can see right now that this is the sixth house. We can see how it, synergizes with the sign Virgo, which is a mutable earth sign, which means this is a sign that deals with multiple, immutable earth just means, being flexible and adaptable, open to multiple different ways of being stable, secured, structured, organized, and routine in one's own, life. Whether that's through other people's ideas and all that, other people's ways of doing it, or whether it's through different ways we find, the different ways we find, like to go about, you know, structuring our lives ourselves as an individual. So yeah, and then the part with health, I can see the synergy between the part with health, how that correlates to Virgo is that Virgo is actually the sign Virgo is actually associated with our nervous system, the part of us that like deals with anxiety and worry a lot. So that's also what I like to say. Not this is a house that deals not only with physical health because it's an Earth house. I also like to deal with mental health too. So yeah, but the thing with this being a house of health and then Virgo run the nervous system, those two go hand in hand. But more so the day-to-day living, how we go about tackling it, bringing structure, routine into it, and schedule, being more scheduled and organized in our day-to-day, also goes hand in hand with Virgo too, because Virgo is the Earth sign, which deals with organization and structure, and then but it does that in a mutable way. So yeah, and then more so, Mercury rules the sixth house because Mercury rules over Virgo, and this is actually where Virgo gets that energy from, and especially the more analytical and critical part of Mercury. And so, and mainly do like that, and mainly do that analytical, you know, in that analytical power within Mercury. What is an analysis and what is analyzing and or an analysis usually used for? In order to get information, in order to get the details, so things can become more, you know, more clear, more transparent, more, organized, structured, and routine, categorized, put in boxes, so things aren't all, over the place, and more, refined. And so you can actually apply this part with refinement and any of that to the sixth house as well, because the sixth house touches on things like, you know, that too. So yeah, like I said, the planets, the sign, the houses always go hand in hand with one another. So yeah, that's the sixth house for the most part. And now for like a placement in here, I don't have any sixth house placements, so I couldn't use mine, or I couldn't use one. But if I were to give you a quick example, say you got a Saturn in your sixth house in the sign of like Taurus. So with Saturn here already, when it comes to things dealing with like your health, and your routine, your day-to-day living, hell, even maybe even the pets too, or and the hygiene. Hygiene can be associated with health anyway, but also like your job, your workplace, you might experience you could experience a lot of limitations, and you experience a lot of limitations, restrictions, and boundaries in any of those areas. And so, at the same time, with those boundaries and limitations and restrictions, you can also still you can learn to become more disciplined, more mature, and focused in that same area as well, because that's the other side of Saturn. That's the good side that you know doesn't always get talked about, but it is what it is. So yeah, for the most part, you know how Saturn works, so you know how it could work being placed in any house. But yeah, now let's move on to the sign Taurus. So we got the sign Taurus in the sixth house. What does that mean? What's your Saturn energy? The energy, what's your limitations, restrictions, and boundaries? You know, how you're actually going to go about, how you're actually going to go about tackling your sixth house issues, even though you may have that stifling influence from Saturn because of the restrictions. You're still going to tackle it in the Taurian way, where you try to bring the most amount of balance and harmony as possible. Because Taurus is the sign, Taurus is ruled by Venus, and it's one of the signs that deals with bringing about, balance and harmony through, through giving the love, sharing the love, and expecting that back. So, and then it's an Earth sign in the Earth house, so naturally it's gonna be okay because it's still in the same element. So yeah, but yeah, and if you also whenever I say a sign, if you know the planetary rule of the sign too, you can also look at Taurus and you can also look at Taurus in the sixth house, like Venus in the sixth house, because the energy, the sign's energy comes from the planet. So it's basically like saying, this sign is like this planet in this house, even if that planet is not there. And that's always because the energy, that's always because the sign carries that energy, like I was saying. And Venus in the sixth house, what does that mean? Pretty much you are very you value your day to day. You value your job. Your workplace. You like to bring about a lot of peace. And, order and harmony within your workplace or within your day to day. You know, within your day to day. So yeah. But anyway, you guys, this is my take on the sixth house in astrology. If you like it, more so, it doesn't matter to me if you like it or not. But oh my god, that was pretty smart. Or, Jesus. But anyway, more so, if you enjoyed it, feel free to. Well, if you enjoyed it, you enjoyed it. I don't even know why I'm making that difficult thing to say. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, you enjoyed it. But more so importantly, if you have any feedback, criticism, any questions you want to ask, feel free to ask me them down in the comments, and I'll do my best to get back to them. But until then, you guys, I'll talk to you guys later, and I hope you guys have a good afternoon. And I love y'all. Peace.